So we're going to start with running a business. Now I can speak to running a business because I've once sold, athletic apparel. I've once sold, I once did Amazon FBM and stuff like that. So I've used Amazon and I've used Shopify to get into e-commerce. So I've sold things before. So again, make sure I hope you guys are taking notes, but what are some of the pros of running a business? One of them is you have unlimited income potential for sure. You have full control over your decisions. You can scale rapidly. You have tax advantages and you can be sold for a larger payout. So if you start a company and you build it to a point where, you know, bigger investors, they want to invest in your company, well, you can sell it for how much more money than you put into it. So you can sell your company for quite a lot of money. Now, what are the cons of running a business? Well, there are going to be long hours. In order to build a business, you have to be 2 feet in. You have to do everything. You're going to be consuming it's going to consume a lot of your time for sure. Another thing is that most businesses fail. Uh, so, that's just, you guys got to understand that this is a long game. Hopefully you choose the right business, the right industry where, you're not going to be discouraged or, probably sits at like a high risk or so. But yeah, a lot of businesses fail because that's just, they don't survive. They don't know how to adapt. They don't know how to grow. There's a lot of things that contribute to why business can fail, but they do fail. Just understand that. Next thing is income can be consistent. Now, when it comes to business, you're definitely going to be in seasons. Like you're not going to always get paid every time. Like there's going to be days where you don't get paid at all. Believe me, I've gone through it. There's just times where you're going to see like a little season where you're seeing the sales come in and then, it's just going to come like that month or two, that couple weeks where you're just like, damn, man, I ain't seen my numbers then kind of drop off or, sometimes you're just not even going to get paid. So that's just what it is, especially if you have like a product business. If you have a service-based business, you're not getting paid until, somebody pays their reoccurring fee or so like that. So, income isn't always going to be consistent. And then the last one would be sometimes you have to have employees. Sometimes, you have to deal with employees. You have customers that can create headaches. Again, me personally, I don't see myself having a business where I have employees. That's just not what I want. But I mean, if you want employees, you're gonna have to deal with paying employees and giving them benefits. You have to understand that's just what it's gonna come with. Customers, obviously, any customer complaints, customers or concerns, you got to be the one to address that. So, and that's even if you have like a online business too, you got to be able to address that. Now let's talk about like the return on investment, right? So say you invest $5,000 to start your business, right? And then let's say after 1 year, you make like $50,000 in revenue. Well, let's just say that out of that 50,000, you'll profit say like 20,000, right? So your return on investment is just going to be the 20,000 in profit that you made minus the 5,000 you started with divided by the 5,000 times 100, right? And so that's altogether your return on investment's about 300%. So that's pretty good, like I would say probably out of all three of these, business probably might have the highest return on investment, but obviously that's because it requires the most effort. So you can definitely see high returns on your business. But again, it's just going to come with the amount of effort that you decide to put in.